Hi, I'm Enoch Chapman, and this is my arrangement of the hymn Prayer of Thanksgiving for Native American Wood Flute, piano, vocal, and hand drum. At the end of this piece, I'll do a little bit of talking about what I was thinking as I was arranging it, but for now, please enjoy this music. Thank you. We gather together to ask for your blessings. You chasten and hasten your will to make known the weak and oppressing. Now cease to distressing. Sing praises to your name. You forget not your beside us to guide us. Great Spirit, join us, ordaining, maintaining your protection divine. So from the beginning, the fight we were winning. Great Spirit at our side, our thanks for our lives. We all do extol thee, Great Spirit triumphant, and pray that thou still our defender wilt be. Let thy global nation escape tribulation. Thy gifts be ever praised. Great Spirit, make us free. Make us free. Make us free. We gather together So I've always loved Thanksgiving. It's just one of my favorite times of the year. I love the idea of it. I love the sentiment behind the focus of thanks and thankfulness. I don't feel like we do that enough inside of the world or enough inside throughout the year. So the fact that there is a time set aside for that, I think is awesome. In terms of music, right, there's not a lot of Thanksgiving music out there. So there's not like a lot of holiday cheer you can get into with a certain song or not. But ever since I found this hymn, Prayer at Thanksgiving, I fall in love with it. Because, one, it's that sentiment, two, it's that music. And then three, there's something about it to me that has always been just a little bit more traditional than maybe it was originally thought of. So, it's not native by any means, but I've always felt that if you could tweak the words slightly, if you can maybe just change one or two ideas, that it actually does feel very traditionally native in its sentiment. But that might come across as something weird for some people out there. So I do change the lyrics a little bit, and so I apologize if that offends anybody, but to me it does make it feel like a little bit more native in the interpretation of it. This is the first song that I ever arranged that had the hand drum inside of it, because a lot of the sacred music I arranged, if I'm trying to perform it in different places, they don't like drums being played inside of it. So I didn't want to create a lot of music that had drums, but I really felt like this song needed it because of the idea of trying to bring it to a more traditional light. And it's a good heartbeat pulse inside the song. It's a very simple, nothing too elaborate, nothing too fancy, but just drives that heartbeat of the like the feeling of the heartbeat of the earth, or heartbeat of nature, or heartbeat of whatever it is, the universal, to the song, which is a very native sentiment, a very native idea. Now the flute music, the flute player doesn't actually play a whole lot. There's not like a lot of variation or wild changes that go inside the flute part as in some of the other arrangements, but it's meant to help accompany what's the vocalist is singing. Now there's moments inside the flute player that are different. They're a little bit trickier because they're slides, they're shifts of a finger going over a hole slowly so that it's a pitch bend down or a pitch bend up. And I wanted to put those kind of pitch bend ideas in there so that you could have that moment where you're thinking one thing and then maybe you can shift your mindset a little bit to having it be something else. And so those pitch bend moments are there so that you can kind of realign your thought process or readjust your thought process into maybe seeing a different idea in what the lyrics conveying or what the song itself is trying to say. We need those moments in our lives where we can slightly just adjust ever so slightly so we can see the perspective of somebody else, or so we can understand people a little bit better. So we're not always, flying off by the seat of our handle to the reactions that we have inside of our own bodies, but to sometimes just take a moment and kind of just slowly go, oh, I could see where you're coming from. I see that perspective change. And that's kind of where that kind of slide comes into play. The other thing that's really kind of fun in the song, or I thought was really interesting, was the fact that I wrote a group vocal. Everybody at the end sings the final verse. And I wanted everyone to sing the final verse because I kind of wanted to mimic the idea that the earth itself sometimes needs to sing a final verse. Whether that's the earth as nature or that's the earth as people, sometimes we need to come together and just convey a message. And then finally, at the very end of it, the vocalist comes back by themselves to sing these final words of "Make us free." And to me, that is one of the ultimate sentiments of the Native American inside the world that we have right now. We're overlooked. The people aren't really in the forefront of anyone's thought process. Sometimes they come up, but a lot of times they get pushed back into the shadows because for some reason we're just not the focus of the attention, and that's fine if that's the way that the world is right now. But that doesn't mean that we can't be free at some point. Doesn't mean that as natives we can't come together and create a more universal position for us and let people know who we are, raise awareness and raise understanding, and let people see where the culture has come from and what it is and how we can participate and contribute and actually help people grow and understand who they are by understanding who we are. And I think that's just the idea is, make us free to be able to do some of these things that would be nice to be able to convey in a bigger light. And I just love that sentiment. And I thought that was just a really pretty idea inside of this whole construct of Thanksgiving. Plus, the final thing is there's a lot of lines in the lyrics themselves about praising his name and glorifying the Savior and glorifying the God's name, which is a beautiful idea and a beautiful sentiment, but it's not really a native sentiment. We give a lot of thanks. We don't go around saying to your name, praise your name. We thank for everything. Thank you for the hunt. Thank you for our lives. Thank you for nature. Thank you for our families. Thank you for everything that's given to us. And so this concept of praise, the name, to me has been slightly adjusted to the idea of giving thanks, because again, it's amazing what those two words can do. Just say thank you to somebody. Just write them a note. Drop them a line. Do something out of the ordinary just to say thank you to anybody, and you will change their mood. You'll change the way they think. They'll change their lives for that day, because it's incredibly powerful what those two little words can really do when you mean them and when it's sincere. Thank you. Thanks for watching our video. We hope you enjoyed it. And if you did enjoy it, make sure you hit that thumbs up, because that tells the world that you liked it, but also helps us out a little bit. Plus, if you want more of our content inside your YouTube homepage, subscribe to our channel. That's the best way for you to get our videos as soon as we release them. Plus, we love writing music for the Native American Wood Flute. It's just something that we love to do, and we couldn't do it without the support of our Patreon community. Our Patreon community allows us to create new content, to generate new pieces and new works, and put them out here on YouTube and performances all over the country. So thank you so much to our Patreon community. Go out, pick up the flute, keep playing, because it is the best instrument out there.